Have you ever been the underdog? I once heard a man give a speech which he called an overview from underneath. You know, some of our kids have a view of life that always seems to be coming up from underneath. They're the underdogs. I've tried to understand over the last several years what I could do to help someone who either is an underdog, meaning his abilities are getting him in trouble in situations because they're not as refined or not as useful as some others, or he thinks he's an underdog. Let me give you a couple of ideas of things that I've learned. One is that I never really appreciated what it was like to be an underdog in simple situations. There's a rating scale that has been used with children to understand which ones are likely to have problems in school and which ones are not. There's an item on that scale which says sometimes gropes for words to express himself. Have you ever done that? Have you ever wanted to say something, but you couldn't think of exactly the word that you wanted? Well, the next item down on that scale indicates that a person might be like that all the time. And when I began to say to myself, what would it really be like to be an underdog in such a simple way? That is, to have things inside your head that you wanted to say, that you wish you could say, that you were hoping to say, but it wouldn't come out. We've all been there. It's an awful feeling. Have you ever found yourself standing on your feet and you were supposed to respond or say something in a meeting, and your brain would do everything for you but help you? You were conscious that you were sweating, your knuckles were tight, you began to twitch and seem nervous. It would do everything but help you. Imagine if that were your case in school or at home. Every time someone turned to speak to you and called your name, Ed, and your brain stopped working just for a moment. Or they might even just say, next, and it stopped working. I found that once I understand that it's possible for people to be smart, intelligent, capable, but have little problems that make them an underdog, I had to change. When I called their name, I did it in a different way. I warned them first. I checked with them first. I gave them different ways of responding. Try that in your family. If a youngster, every time you look at him, every time you speak to him, freezes up, maybe you need to change so that he won't be always the underdog.